Your
You are
microphone, Lily.
You're muted.
Okay, sorry for that. Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmasters club for leadership development. We are one of the 5 clubs globally. I am Nelly Jane, your surrogate arms of the meeting. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is a premier club for self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club, focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer has a virtual hand raise, so we can all immediately see who is keeping the time. And our Toastmasters of the day, who will lead our meeting, is Toastmaster Hannah Schmidt from Namibia. For her, transformative leadership means inspiring change by fostering self-awareness, acting with integrity, and having the courage to develop alongside others. And transformative leaders enhance outcomes, beginning with their own development. Without further ado, please help me welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Hannah Schmidt.
Thank you very much, Nelly Jane, for that introduction. Good day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Please join us for our final session meeting for this year. Our theme for the day is transformative leadership. And transformative leadership is a style that centers on inspiring, motivating, and fostering creativity. Leaders highlight adaptability and promote active participation in communication and decision-making, which has a lasting impact on the members. However, there are some misconceptions, and one of them is the biggest misconception about transformative leadership is that it's only for presidents and the executives. Not at all. In Toastmasters, transformative leadership can be practiced by any member, whether you're giving your icebreaker, evaluating speech, or just supporting a member. You are still a leader. Transformative leadership in Toastmasters is something we can all practice every single day. And members can lead transformatively. And this all happens in leadership speak. We deliberately develop leaders, transformative leaders, bravely and consistently. Real transformation comes from authenticity, reflection, and the courage to grow. Here we build skills and share stories that promote our progress, your progress. We connect with our voice, gain clarity and confidence, and rediscover ourselves. Leadership Speak has established itself as our growth foundation, a space to brainstorm ideas, gather feedback, and inspire courage. And as the second semester nears, it continues to be our platform and pledge to communicate deliberately, lead with empathy, and develop into genuine leaders. Toastmasters, tomorrow quietly begins today. Today we reflect, tomorrow we rise, stronger, wiser, transformative. This is why Leadership Speak is so well known, because we are the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become self-directed leaders. Our esteemed guests, you can visit This metamorphosis of leadership excellence in action. And to be part of this exciting journey and to witness our transformative leadership, please take a moment to complete our guest book, which will be posted into the chat box. Thank you very much. The executive team will connect with you afterwards. Thank you. Now, please, let us start this meeting by raising our toast, as it is our tradition. And this toast will be raised by Ghada, and her journey in transformative leadership is defined by her willingness to look inward, to face her imperfections without any excuses, and grow through the honest admission of her weaknesses and mistakes. Ghada, would you please raise the toast?
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Leadership doesn't begin with demands, it begins with clarity. By this sentence, the captain started and recommended when his crew was anxious and unsure of what to do when the ship once faced a huge storm at sea. And instead of shouting orders, the captain calmly checked the compass and said, "Before we decide where to go, we must make sure we are grounded." When values align with actions, leadership becomes more than instructions. It stops being something we perform and becomes something we live. As I raise a toast to transformative leadership, to leaders who dare to look inward before they lead outward, who embrace their strengths with humility, confront their blind spots with honesty, and see imperfections as flaws, not as flaws at all, no, but as signs of growth. To those who know that leaders are not born, they are shaped by values, by purpose, and guided by the questions that truly matters. Who am I? What do I stand for? And how do I lift others as I rise? Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, please unmute your microphones and open your videos and help me raise the authentic voice. Raise your glasses.
Authentic voice.
The authentic voice.
Thank you.
Authentic voice.
Ghada, thank you very, very much for your
Back to you.
perfect. Thank you very much for your perfect toast. Without our role players, a meeting doesn't flow quite as easily. And for that, we've got a timer. And Rashmi is the timer. And she says, Toastmaster who blends creativity with clarity. She is passionate about helping members grow, stay committed, and discover their spark. Transformative leadership is about inspiring growth, embracing creativity, and empowering individuals to lead with a purpose, clarity, and a lasting impact. Rashmi, please explain your role.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Rashmi Udeshi and timer today. And as a timer, I'll be timing all the speakers and the evaluators. And at the end of the speeches and evaluation, I shall share them on the group. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Rashmi, just show the lights, please. The green, the yellow, so that everybody can see them, please.
Okay, I will be sharing green, yellow, and red as per the timing protocol and as per the agenda. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Rashmi.
Toastmaster.
Looking forward to your role as timer. Now, somebody in the audience has got a very good ear, a grammarian. And he also has the word of the day for us, Robin Stone. Robin informs me I am undergoing metamorphosis from a shy accountant to a confident coach, speaker, and leader. Please help me welcome Robin with his word of the day and the grammarian role.
Thank you very much, Hannah. As grammarian, today I will be listening out for how language is used. I will be taking particular note of good uses of language and how that enhances speeches and what is said. And I will also perhaps be listening out for those not so good uses of the language. The word of today is metamorphosis. Now, the typical example is the process of changing from a caterpillar to a butterfly, or even from the Hannah I used to know a few years ago to the Hannah I know today, who's really developed into a very mature form of speaker. Now, because it's Christmas and I'm in a generous mood, I'm going to give you an alternative, which my grandchildren use for the same word, means the same thing, morph. So if you can't say metamorphosis, just say morph, but I'll only give you half a point for that. Back to you, Hannah.
Robin, I think you have been a school teacher, only giving a full point and only a half point. Thank you very much for our two role players. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters, our procedure for a meeting is that we start with an educational speech. And this time it will be held by EJ, as she is known, EJ McDowell. She will talk about 20 minutes about transformative leadership. And her evaluator is Guerdah. Guerdah, please read the objectives of EJ's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. The purpose of this project is for EJ to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. EJ has also asked me to analyze eye movement, energy, delivery fit for this speech. And also her connection with the audience and body language. As you see, I have a lot of things to look forward to and to pay attention to. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Guerdah, you've got 20 minutes to watch her and listen to her. Thank you very much, Guerdah. EJ says to me, I live transformation in my personal and professional life, and I endeavor to elevate everyone around me Her mission is to help people navigate transformation with intention, confidence, and a deeper sense of who they are becoming. Please help me welcome EJ, the roots of transformative leadership. The roots of transformative leadership. EJ, the stage is yours.
A season of courage, patience, resilience, and the kind of growth that only happens in silence. What a metamorphosis. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and esteemed guest. The great bamboo Chinese tree shows nothing above the soil. No sprout, no bud, no green, no progress. You water it, you feed it, you protect it from the wind, animals, and sometimes discouragement. Year after year after year after year, nothing. Under the soil, a massive root system is forming, a network of strength, a foundation of survival, a structure of resilience. You water, continue to water and feed and protect. And for 1,460 days, that's 4 years. I say simply preparation for greatness, long before greatness is visible. Then in year 5 and 6 weeks, that's 1,867 days, nature's breathtaking miracle, the Chinese bamboo tree, grows 80 feet tall. That is remarkable. But it was growing the whole time, growing deep while out of sight, building roots before height, strengthens in silence before it rises in splendor. And once mature, bamboo becomes one of the strongest, most flexible plants on earth. It bends, but almost never breaks. It grows in clusters, a forest of tall, resilient, self-directed leaders supporting each other. This is not a plant. This is a blueprint for transformative leadership. Could it be that your roots are growing right now, even if you don't see them? According to National Bamboo Mission, bamboo roots prevent erosion, their shoots feed families, and their fibers, they build houses. I was shocked. Over 1 billion people live in bamboo-structured homes. The worldwide bamboo industry is valued in tens of billions of dollars. There are over 1,600 species of bamboo. How many bamboo leaders do we have in this room today? In Toastmasters internationally, global. Bamboo grows in tropical heat, mild deserts, humid forests, and cool mountains. It covers 74 million acres, literally the size of Italy. Now, I thought about us. Leadership Speak covers 32 countries. Bamboo is not just natural, it's essential. And like all great leaders, it spends more time underground developing roots that will support its rise. After learning so much about the bamboo, its resilience, its global power, its invisible preparation, we begin to understand something important. The bamboo story is not just botanical. It's deeply human. Every leader under the sound of my voice has a season where nothing seems to be sprouting, where you, your family, your friends see no progress, but progress is happening, where others see stillness, but roots are forming, where nothing appears to be changing, yet everything is changing. And that, my friends, is the glorious time when transformation is truly taking place. When I recognize this truth, when I realize invisible growth is still growth, I begin to understand my own life differently. I too had a long underground season, a season where one could see no work I was doing. They couldn't see the work I was doing, but the work was happening. A season where the next version of you, of me, was developing beneath the surface, quietly, steadily, and powerfully. Just like the bamboo tree. It grows for years underground before anyone sees it. That became my story. That's your story. During COVID-19, when the whole world stopped, I had a moment where life demanded deeper roots. A moment where the next phase of my rise wasn't visible yet, but it was absolutely being prepared. And that brings me to the next chapter of this message, a chapter that is profoundly personal. For more than 30 years, I worked in the beauty and wellness industry, as some of you know. My salon chair, my podium, my mirror, the audience, my hands-on experience in the real world, and every client, my lifelong education in human connection. Now, my first year as a hairstylist, before confidence replaced caution, I made the worst mistake of my career. I was focused, but I was working with the curling iron that was extremely hot. And in a single unguarded moment, I burnt my client's curl completely off. There was no hiding it. There was no cover up. The scorched smell filled the air and the space all around us. I was so scared, I was embarrassed, and I was literally ready to quit. Every muscle in my body tightened up. I was waiting for my client's response. I stood there, exposed emotionally. The next thing that happened literally changed me. Everything that she did at that point changed my life forever. Instead of outrage, which she had every right to be, she extended opportunity. My client forgave me. Not only that, she returned. And she put her trust in me again. Looking back now, I recognize that moment as a turning point. It was the first time I understood that the growth, true growth, doesn't come from avoiding mistakes, but it comes from how we respond. And wow, especially when we're seen. So I will always pay that forward. That day, in front of one customer, one burnt curl, I took my first step into Leadership 101. I learned transformative leadership doesn't come from getting it right every time, but from taking personal responsibility and recovering with integrity. Yes. Years ago, I remember having a good night's sleep. About 2 years ago. I woke up the next morning, everything seemed normal. I was washing my face in the bathroom until I realized I could not see my left hand out of my right eye. Just like that. Overnight, darkness. I felt like I had lost a loved one. Friends, I was petrified. Panic gripped me like a vice. So did the call to rise again. And somehow I answered that call. And a few months later, I enrolled into a course. I went to the Central Piedmont Community College in Charlotte, North Carolina. Just me, my lucky locker number 7, and a computer. 5 exams, 4 passed. And then there was attempt number 1. I had 3 chances. Attempt number 2. No, didn't happen. Attempt number 3. I hit the submit button as always. And there it was. The visible moment I've been waiting for. I passed test number 5 and I earned my high school diploma. Now, no one saw the courage. No one applauded. No one has celebrated the invisible work. How often have you had that feeling? Well, let me tell you, in that quiet silence, my destiny, my identity was transforming. I was becoming. Sometimes the work we do within, when no one is watching, is exactly what prepares us to rise. This year, I rejoined Toastmasters with a strong desire to reconnect with my authentic voice and to speak with courage, clarity, and connection. At first, the growth seemed slow. The learning, the unlearning, the relearning. Then on November 22nd, 2025, right here in Leadership Speak, wow, I completed Presentation Mastery Level 1. Yes, Level 1. I stood up to speak. I heard a voice that was still me, but strong, clear, and more grounded. My underground work, now visible. I felt 80 feet tall. Okay, ask me why. Okay, you can unmute, ask me why, or put it in the chat. Come on, ask me why.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, I'm
Your
gonna tell you.
why.
Okay, I'll tell you. I discovered a place where bamboo doesn't grow alone. A powerhouse, a movement, an ecosystem of leaders, a living forest of bamboo trees, each rising in its own season. For the year 2024, 2025, under our then immediate past president, DTM Brahm Mamon, Leadership Speak excelled. Education Award, Membership Award, Club of the Year, and maintains one of the top clubs globally. Not by accident, but by transformative design. 3 years in a row and counting. Brahm waters self-leadership. He cultivates excellence. Our executive team develops, empowers, and supports. Our mentors, they train, they encourage, they sharpen, and they stretch us. And our distinguished guest, you witness the growth. Leadership Speaks develops leaders the bamboo way, slow, steady, and strong, and suddenly unstoppable. The futurist Alan Toffler said, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Learn new skills, confidence, knowledge, unlearn outdated beliefs and limiting stories, habits that no longer serve you. Relearn your authentic self, your vision, and your wisdom." Learning plants the seed. Unlearning strengthens the roots, and relearning brings the rise. What limiting beliefs must you let go of in order to experience your next metamorphosis, your rise? For example, it's too late for me. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have any formal education. I'm not as smart as the other person. Starting over is hard, or I need everybody's approval, and many more. Give yourself permission. In this wonderful season of giving, let me offer you 3 gifts inspired by the great Chinese bamboo tree. Gift number 1, the gift of transformation. Lead yourself first, your heart, your mind, your courage. No leader will rise publicly without leading themselves privately. Gift number 2, the gift of time. Don't rush your breakthrough. It's not failure, it's preparation. Time is not passing you, it's preparing you. And finally, gift number 3. Bamboo grows in clusters. This is the gift of bamboo relationships. Your circle defines your rise. Choose communities like Leadership Speak that help you grow tall. As we close this year, this season, honoring the invisible, what will it take for you to sprout again? I invite you to choose one area of your life where you have been underground. Love denied, love again. A dream paused, press play. A skill you're building, keep building. A fear you're overcoming, overcome. A leadership role you're stepping into, forward march. If not now, when? If not us, who? Commit today to water, to cultivate, to stay rooted in your future. Seasons of transformative root building reveal strength. The entire world is watching and waiting for you. It's your bamboo season. Rise. Madam Toastmaster, back to you.
EJ, you can put this into a longer speech. I just loved listening to it. Just like the bamboo shoots, we rediscover our strengths, our roots. And as a team, like you said, the bamboo shoots, we share our courage to grow into speakers and leaders who adapt, reflect, and transform. Every member is part of our team, and we all become eventually transformative leaders. Dear guests, did EJ's speech inspire you? And would you love to hear more about leadership speak and become unstoppable? Then please complete our guest book again. It will be posted in the chat box. Thank you very much, Mr. PR Master. Please get your pen ready, your pencil, whatever, or your typewriter. Complete the guest book. Now, we have some shorter speeches. And we have 3 more inspiring speakers, each bringing us a unique perspective of their own field, ready to inform, engage, and leave us with insights we reflect on and apply beyond this meeting. Our first speaker, a very well-known Toastmaster, is Paramjit, and he will be evaluated by Youselee. Youselee, please read the objectives of Paramjit's speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Greeting, colleague Toastmasters and guests. Today, Toastmaster Singh will present a speech on the project, Understand Your Leadership Style. And the purpose of this project is for him to identify his primary leadership style or styles. And the purpose of this speech is for him to share some aspect of his primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. It will have 5 to 7 minutes. And during our conversation during the week, he asked me to look for his body language. Madam Toastmaster of the Day, the lead is yours.
Thank you very much for that. Paramjit, he's been a Toastmaster since 2020. He is Design and Development Manager, NLP trainer, and growth mindset coach. He is, listen to this, he's a president, a VPE, VPPR, a VPM, and SAA plus an area director. Please help me welcome Paramjit. Lead to serve Paramjit.
How many of you believe that now you know your leadership style? Thank you very much. And how many you still feel that you are leading with the same style 5 years ago, you are using the same style? Oh, thank you. Now, this is my 7th speech on understanding your leadership style. Not because I was having a lack of content, but I understood that leadership is ever evolving. And I was working on the best version of myself. However, at the core of my heart, I always believed in one type of leadership, and that is servant leadership. And this started with a journey in 1987 when I joined a company where I have to lead around 200 dissatisfied, demotivated employees, and they're working with their own ways. And I, absolutely novice and having no leadership role before that, I started my way to lead the people. And one day, my senior manager called me. Because I thought my production targets were above the main targets. I went for the appreciation, but I got a warning. Paramjit, you are too mild. You mix a lot with your workers. I saw you during the lunchtime, you sit with them also. Behave like a leader, like a boss, not a servant. Now, this put a question mark on my way of working with my colleagues. Still, as an advisor, I started working on this. But my inherent values didn't allow me to abandon them. Who are working so hard for me. And then I started working with them, listening to them, as well as walking beside them and standing beside them whenever the need comes. And soon, in about 4 to 5 months, we had a wonderful professional team and produced excellent results. 6 months down the line, when I was promoted, I understood one thing, that there's no leadership without being human. The life goes on. 2005, I got another challenge when I joined a United Nations Development Program project. And here, I am having 20 people who are brilliant, expert in their fields, and doing their best, but working like unguided missiles. Everybody wanted to become a leader, but nobody was a follower. This was resulting in lack of trust, lack of responsibility, and absolutely low productivity. So now I stepped in. I understood one thing, that now empathy will not only work. I have to take some different stand. So I stepped in with the clarity, with a transformational way, and with the firmness. I took the responsibility and even saved few of their jobs. The trust built up. And soon the chaos become a cohesion, and the ego become accountability. 4 months, I got a recommendation letter from United Nations for developing very high product with such a team. Now, with my present assignment in UAE, this balanced approach of servant leadership has given me a lot of results. But the biggest eye-opener was when I started taking the test, the leadership test in 2020. When I took the test, I was very clearly given that I am a democratic and sportive leadership style of working. But 2025 now, when I again did the test, I was really surprised. It praised me and he said, "Oh, you are upgraded." And now I am having a blend of authoritative, innovative coaching apart from my democratic and sportive style. It has become a balanced style of dealing with the people. Other thing which was very big learning, that is not that you are working in one type of leadership call. You must be able to lead and adapt different styles depending upon different people and different situations. Now you must be calling my seventh speech. It is not about repetition. It's about my reflection that how Toastmaster and leadership speak made me transform me from a normal democratic sportive leadership to a leadership with a balance of all type of leaderships. But one still thing which has never changed in my feeling, and I always tell people also, if you are looking for results, serve the people, and the results will follow. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Paramjit, hey, thank you very much. Wow. I must say, his visionary communication speeches are always a joy to listen to, as he is exceptionally knowledgeable about the leadership style. And at Leadership Speak, we move forward with that servant leader like Paramjit. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Nicole Whyte, and she will be evaluated by Nocawe. Nocawe, please read the objectives of Nicole's speech.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and especially greeting to the guests. Nicole will be presenting her speech on the Dynamic Leadership Pathway Level 1. The purpose of Nicole's project is to practice applying feedback. She will be presenting a well-organized speech, and she will receive feedback from the evaluator. She requested that I pay attention to her Zoom presence. Well, all of the best, Nicole. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Nocawe. You've got 5 minutes for 7 minutes for that. Please let me introduce Nicole, our ever-versatile Vice President of Education for Leadership Speak. Nicole believes in bringing a practical, empathetic, and people-centered approach to the value she gives to others. She loves public speaking and uses her voice for inspiration. I lead that, I add, and we feel that at Leadership Speak. And her thoughts on the theme? Transformational leadership begins within. Please help me welcome Nicole. Upward, Nicole.
I recently had one of those unexpected aha moments. The kind that sneaks upon you in or rather during mundane moments. My son, a talented artist in the creative space, was messaging me about his new project. Despite communicating via text, his excitement was palpable, resounding clearly through his carefully crafted sentences. He was proud of his progress, but my motherly instincts sensed that he was exhausted, despite his determination to press on. He eventually surrendered. I felt a pause. I felt his pause, and then his confirmation message arrived. Mom, I'm going to take a break, eat, and get back to it. The phrase "get back to it" triggered an instant reaction. A poem from my elementary school days, decades ago, suddenly resurfaced in my mind with perfect clarity. Now, half the time, I can't remember where I leave my car keys. Yet this entire poem miraculously returned to me, word for word. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. I sent him those lines, certain they were exactly what he needed to hear. Yet, I realized that message isn't just for my son. It's for all of us. No matter the role, whether we're an artist, a leader, a parent, or just someone who is trying to move forward. We're each toiling upward in the night on our own journeys. Greatness doesn't happen in spotlight moments. It happens behind the scenes, like my son, right? I only knew about it. Late nights, difficult mornings, tiny steps. And his history is full of people who lived this out. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. He spent countless hours experimenting, failing, and trying again before finally transmitting the first words through the phone. Perhaps his family members were the only ones who knew of his toiling and sacrifices as he worked behind the scenes during inauspicious hours with grit and ambition to solve a problem. Persistent effort, like our very own leadership speak member Guerdah Felix, who recently shared with me how she allocates as little as 5 minutes per day to learn a new language. Now she's among the 1% of the Duolingo language app users. She toiled just like the great men, and she never gave up. She was consistent. You know what I told her? I told her, well done. Tiny steps, remarkable results. If you need a little help with your German, check Guerdah. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, what about you? Are you determined to put in the hard work? Take those small steps, incremental habits, and remain determined about your goals? In one of our recent extraordinariness coaching sessions, our master coach, Brahmamoon, reminded us, your timeline will change, but your goals should never, never, ever change. As leaders, let us be reminded that it's not what we do in the limelight that matters. It's what we practice in the shadows. We stay in the preparation mode, even when stopping feels comfortable. We remain focused and resolute in achieving our goals. The Heights of Great Men poem teaches us character, influence, growth, and we are built with that consistency and determination to achieve our results. And whether you lead a team, a family, a classroom, or a community, your effort impacts the people who look to you for strength. Every step you take upward makes the path clearer for someone coming behind you. So keep working, keep learning, keep trying, and like the greats who came before us, may we continue to toil upward in the night so that the heights we reach will inspire those we lead. Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Nicole, thank you very much. And we all have these aha moments as communicators and as leaders. But at Leadership Speak, we overcome them and rise as transformative leaders upwards. Dear guests, do you want to overcome these aha moments? Leadership Speak is the place, and therefore I request you again to complete the guest book. Please post the guest book. It'll probably be posted just now. And now we've got our final and our third speaker, Atul. And he will be evaluated by Ray. Ray, please read the objective of Atul's speech.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. I am looking forward to Atul's speech. Where did he first fill out the agenda? It was going to be introduction to mentoring. Oh, I was looking forward to see how a mentor impacted him. But life got in the way. He changed up his speech this morning to another project. Well, as leaders, sometimes we just have to put on the brakes, change the lanes, and adjust accordingly. All in the space of a minute. So I am looking forward to Atul's speech, but with a different project. He's going to share with us how he has done. Let me just get the speech here. I'm still not entirely in the lane. He's going to share how he writes a specific speech with a purpose. So I'm going to find out about how he shaped his introduction, points, and conclusion. I'm going to try to identify the theme of the speech and see how some of the tools like body language and vocal variety enhances the quality of his speech. I'm sure he's nervous. I'm sure that he wants to get this out of the way for our final speech of 2025 for Leadership Speak. So without further ado, I want to hear Atul's speech. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. I also only saw the change in the last minute. Nevertheless, Atul says, I am an active Toastmaster. And Toastmasters has really helped me to be a public speaker and ethical leader. My passion lies in traveling and exploring new cultures. And with that, we've got 32 countries, so you can explore them all. Please help me welcome Atul. Metacognition, Atul. Over to you.
Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, let me begin with a moment we have all experienced. Have you ever gone back home after a long day, replayed a conversation in your head, and thought, I shouldn't have said that, or I wish I handled it better? That feeling, that regret, that heaviness does not come from the situation itself. It comes from realizing that we reacted without awareness. That is where metacognition comes in. Metacognition simply means thinking about your thinking. I repeat, thinking about your thinking. It is the ability to pause, step back, and observe your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. Most people don't respond to life, they react to it. They react from fear, they react from ego, they react from love, they react from past experiences. But leaders, real leaders, pause before they react. Let me share a simple but emotional example. A father comes home after work. His child runs towards him, excited, wanting to share a small achievement. The father, stressed and distracted, snaps at the child. The moment passes. But later that night, guilt arrives. Metacognition is the moment of realization. Why did I react like that? It wasn't about my child. It was about my stress. Now imagine if that pause had come earlier, just a moment. That pause is power. In leadership, the same thing happens. A team member makes a mistake. One leader reacts with anger. Another leader pauses and asks, why? What is the emotion trying to protect? The second leader builds trust. The first builds fear. Same mistake, but different thinking. Toastmasters teaches us this beautifully. After every speech, we reflect. We asked, what worked? What didn't? What wasn't I thinking when I spoke? What was my emotions going on? Did I speak faster? Or did I overreact? Or did I overspeed myself? Or did I just have a simple tone? I didn't have vocal variety. And that's how this constructive criticism, and as we all believe, feedback is a breakfast for champions. And I think on every of our thinking, on every of our thought, we should have a feedback of how we are thinking. Let us sit back for 5 minutes every day and let us think what went well today, what went bad today, what thoughts were really good, and what thoughts didn't come well. Toastmasters is not just training for speakers. It is a training for self-aware human beings. It is the metamorphosis of training. It is the transformative leadership. Visionary leaders understand something important. Your thinking today becomes your culture tomorrow. If you don't examine your thinking, your fears quietly become your policies. Your ego quietly becomes your leadership style, and your limitations quietly become your organization's ceiling. Let me give you one simple daily practice, and that is the call to action. Every night, ask yourself 3 questions. What thought controlled me today? What thought was true? And what will I choose to think tomorrow? I repeat, what thought controlled me today? Was that thought true? What will I choose to think tomorrow? Just give it a 5 minutes exercise every day before you sleep. Takes this. You don't need more intelligence to change your life. You need more awareness. And awareness is a key. When you learn to think about your thinking, you stop being a passenger in your life and start becoming an architect of your destiny. That is metacognition, and that is the foundation of visionary leadership. Thank you. Hands to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
You are muted, Hannah.
There we are. Atul, I repeat again. Thank you very much. And his writing a speech with a purpose from visionary communication, thinking about thinking. Metacognition, definitely a new phrase, a new word for me, and something to think about. That's what I like about leadership speak. Learning, unlearning, and relearning new words. Dear guests, and of course our Toastmasters, we've heard 3 amazing and experienced speakers with their inspiring speeches. Each brought fresh ideas and powerful insights from their own field. Are you now ready? Inspired, challenged, and energized? Will Leadership Speak be the platform for this transformation? Then I invite you to sign our guest book again, please. Thank you very much. I see on my other screen it has been posted. Madam Timer, please post the times into the chat box. And while she's busy doing that, Zoom Master, please launch the poll for the best effort speaker. Let's see who inspired you the most of our speakers, of our toast, everybody. We give it a bit of time until the poll is ended. But while that, my last comments of transformation will not hold us back. It drives us forward, or as Nicole said, upward, purposefully. And this willingness to change becomes infectious. I now am handing over to another transformative leader, our General Evaluator, Sonja. For Sonja, transformative leadership starts with clarity of purpose and personal responsibility. From that inner foundation, leadership becomes authentic and credible. Sonja, I hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are, fellow Toastmasters, and a very warm welcome to our guests. Yes, I'm the General Evaluator today, and I will guide us through the evaluation segment I will be calling on a team of seasoned Toastmasters to evaluate the speakers. Then I will be calling on the role players and their reports. And finally, I will share my own overall assessment of the meeting. Please, yes, we will start with Lydiah, who will evaluate the toast of the day. Lydiah shared that transformative leadership is important, and especially nowadays in this quick changing world of AI. Lydiah, please proceed. The virtual stage is yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and our distinguished guests, and especially Ghada, Almojarkish. Your toast on transformative leadership was inspiring, and my key takeaway was very clear that leaders are not born, but they are shaped. I especially admired the example that you gave of a captain in the sea with a ship. And you took us through how the captain was giving instructions. We were able to relate with the example that you gave, which was very fitting as a transformative leader. You might want to consider engaging the audience. You would have even posed a question to the audience. Do you believe in the transformative leadership? Give them time to put a yes or a no on the chat. That way you keep them engaged, because being the first speech, it's always good for them to be engaged. That was one. Number two, I noted when you requested us to raise the glass to do the toast, I expected you to raise your glass together with us. However, I saw you raising a mug. And from what you told us that leaders, they give instructions and they lead from the front. So I expected you to raise the glass with us. Overall, you did well. You demonstrated good knowledge of the theme and you gave it good examples. I encourage you to keep on giving those vivid imaginary examples in your leadership speech. Thank you very much and congratulations, Ghada. I'm looking forward to your next speech that you will excel even further. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Lydiah. Your evaluation was very constructive, as you clearly started out by pointing out the takeaway that you received, that you understood. You gave examples of parts in the speech of the toast that you found were delivered successful, and also parts that you were thought could be improved. What I would have added on would be, for me personally, it was not quite clear what exactly the toast was on. The three keywords, they were not clear to me. But overall, thank you, Lydiah. I think it really helps the toast Ghada to improve for the next time. Now, we move on to the evaluator from our educational speaker which is Ghada. Ghada will evaluate E.J. McDowell. For Ghada, transformative leadership, from one form to another, it's all about growth. Welcome on the virtual stage, Ghada. Felix, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and especially EJ. That was an inspirational and motivational speech. Whew. As I was sitting here listening and watching you, EJ, I felt that you took us on a journey. And also at moments, you danced with us. From the start, you had powerful questions for us, the audience, so that we can pay attention to you. You started with, could it be that your roots are growing right now? Oof. Right from the get-go. That stayed with me. And as I was listening to you, your storytelling was to the roof. Well done. When I saw you there, you felt to me like a queen going to speak to her subjects. And at some point, the way you were looking at us looked like almost like this at some points. So this would be my first thing to pay attention to. What I liked was you had a lot of connection between the bamboo tree and us, Leadership Speak members. You talked about the bamboo tree, the story, and then you talked about us. You talked about the bamboo tree, and then you talked about us. That was beautifully done. I like that you started with the bamboo tree, you told us your story, and then you moved us to us, Leadership Speak. Here is what I noticed. When you were talking to us as Leadership Speak members, we strengthened. We, because I looked at the screen, felt a sense of pride. Thank you for giving that to us today. What I would suggest, sometimes there were some long pauses, as I just did now. That might work even better if you were in a face-to-face meeting, not necessarily on this platform. Therefore, pay attention to that. My challenge to you, EJ, is to take this presentation elsewhere, to the world, because the world needs to listen to that presentation. All in all, I love that it was a story of metamorphosis, that you took us along with you, and we will be better for it. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Bravo. Thank you so much, Ghada. Your evaluation showed clearly how much you paid attention to and how you felt connected with the speaker. And so did I as well. You clearly brought the points across that you felt were presented very well, and also aspects that you think could be improved. Not only that, you even suggested that the speaker should notch it up one further and should take it to the next step. So I think your evaluation is very, very inspiring and really gives the speaker courage to really follow your advice. Thank you so much, Guerdah. Our next evaluator is Youselee. Youselee will evaluate I believe
Paramjit.
Paramjit. Yes. Apologies. Youselee, you will evaluate Paramjit. Youselee believes that transformational leadership really highlights the power of doing the work within for better outcomes for everyone. Youselee, welcome to the virtual stage. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Greeting again, colleague Toastmasters and guests. Toastmaster Singh, what an inspiring speech on leadership that you have presented today. Listening to you showed us that leading is as easy as breathing if we put human dignity at the heart of our action. I appreciated your way of speaking with humility, grace, and respect for others, even if they were not in the room, those you were leading. I didn't hear a single negative comment about the people you were leading. That was really wonderful, respectful, and did with honor. You began your presentation by connecting with the audience. You asked questions and you waited for the people to react. You presented an overview of your transformation or your metamorphosis as a leader and your different styles. What made this presentation extraordinary and my most important takeaway was that the fact that you clearly demonstrated that your leadership style wasn't swayed by performance targets or even feedback from your supervisor, but that your style was deeply rooted in your own values, serving the people. You were clear, or you are still clear about who you are, what you want, and how to transform the situation for the better good. Studied as a servant leader, now you manage to balance your leadership style depending on the people or the situation. You can be democratic or supportive. As you asked during the week, you had accurate body language, especially your hand gestures. And at some moment, you came closer to the camera. So you had accurate body language to the message. The one thing that I would like you to work on, you are a funny person, Toastmaster Singh. And today you were so serious. No smile on the face. It was like, I am a leader. I was like, where is this funny guy that I used to see? So you can work on the facial expression. Even if leadership is a serious subject, you can be more relaxed next time. Other than that, that was a well-structured, well-presented speech. Congratulations for that. And back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Youselee. In your evaluation, you pointed out, you gave examples and you pointed out what I think was great in Paramjit Singh's speech, and also what you think could be improved. Regarding the timing, maybe you can cut one point out in order to meet the timeline. But overall, I think it was a great evaluation. Thank you. We are moving on to our evaluator, Nocawe. Nocawe, she will evaluate Nicole's speech. And Nocawe believes that transformative leadership is imperative and as an impactful leader in order to have influence, in order to influence others and to achieve greatness. Please welcome on the virtual stage, Nocawe. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Nicole, your takeaway message for me was very clear. You were encouraging us, or you encouraged me never to give up, to stay focused and transform my environment. Your speech was well organized with relatable evidence. For example, you stated that Alexander Graham Bell invented a telephone when you related to your son's project. That was educational and well articulated. Your background in the Zoom present for your Zoom present was very clear. You are well dressed and prepared for your project. I have 3 things that I just want shortly to challenge you on. Firstly, your Zoom presence was great, but I want just to challenge you to pay attention on your position in your Zoom room, if I may put it like that. If you can look between the, like, my head and the level upper on the screen, now you can see that there is space. So you just try to pay attention on this space, because your presence was beautiful, but because you left more space here, we could not see your hand gestures properly, and we had an opportunity to could have seen you from your belly button to the top of your head. Secondly, I want to challenge you on connecting with your audience. You had an opportunity to ask questions that could have allowed us to relate with your examples, especially your son's project. You could have engaged the audience more there. And the last one, it's your pacing. You delivered valuable information, but because you had a lot of information, your pauses were a bit shorter. In terms of your presentation skills, were executed very well. Your voice projection, your facial expression, your smile, the way you used your eyes, it helped me to connect with you easily. In summary, you excelled in delivering your organized speech very well. I suggest you work on your Zoom present, because that's where you wanted me to focus mostly on, the way of connecting with your audience, as well as your pauses. And your delivery skills were well executed. You are a great speaker. You articulate very clearly. It's just that try to limit the information. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Nocawe. Your evaluation was indeed very constructive, in which you pointed out the items that you think you liked, that were presented well. And you gave an example of the Zoom presence that, for example, could be improved. And I believe, if I not misheard, as well as the pauses, which I agree with. I think there were some pauses that interrupted the flow of the speech. Overall, thank you for your evaluation, Nocawe. Thank you. We are moving on to our final speech evaluator, which is Ray. And Ray believes that transformative leadership is especially important in a mentorship role. Please welcome on the virtual stage Evaluator Ray. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. I would like to preface my beliefs. It's not just in the way that we mentor each other, but in all the ways that we communicate with each other when we have an opportunity to be involved in transformative leadership. Now, Atul, thank you for presenting the speech to us. One thing that I want us to work on is that there is no need for you to thank the audience. It is the audience that has to thank you for presenting your speech, for giving us the opportunity to help you improve. So we have a chance to learn together, unlearn together, and relearn together. So on behalf of the audience here today, thank you for presenting your speech. I loved how you opened to set up the story. Invite the audience in. Come here, come here. I have something for you. And you introduced to us metacognition, a definition. And all of a sudden the audience went from, what is it, to, oh, so that's what it is. Let me hear more about it. I feel that the opening statement that you presented invited the audience in and piqued their curiosity. Think about what you're thinking. React, not respond. What great points. And I loved how you used your pauses, your gestures, your vocal variety, even the way that you brought yourself in and back out to invite the audience in, keep their attention, and non-verbally say, I have more. Would you like to hear? And you mentioned what works, what didn't, and the training for self-metamorphosis. What a great point. With the warnings where we have our limitations, that little glass ceiling that we sometimes self-impose on ourselves, and how we have a call to action to challenge ourselves, and what metacognition can do for all of us. In addition to not saying thank you at the end of the speech, it's superfluous. It's not necessary. I noticed a little bit that the camera was maybe not at eye level. And sometimes you kind of cast your eyes downward for some reason, maybe because the laptop's camera is below it. But I did notice that you used the camera as that unpaid member of Leadership Speak. I don't know if you used notes or not, but good. You did. I don't think it mattered. So now, one challenge. Why don't you expand this speech into a leadership education speech? Stretch it from 6 to 18 to 20 minutes and prep to speak professionally. That way, we can see how you can provide more examples about how metacognition can impact not only yourself, but how it can impact others and challenge them to handle all the things that come along your way. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Ray, for your constructive feedback. And especially after you pointed out positives and points of improvements, you encouraged the speaker to take it even a notch up and to create an educational speech about it. Now, I'm switching hats and I will be evaluating myself. Our Toastmaster of the day, Hannah. Hannah, you prepared already way in advance for this meeting, for today's meeting. You brought a great spirit. You welcomed us and you welcomed the guest. You had great your transitions. You paid great attention to what the speakers were saying, what the presenters, role takers were saying. Because every time you gave your own thoughts and your own, what the presenter was saying, and you beautifully connected it, made a beautiful flow to the next presenter or the next speaker. You had great hand gestures, great pauses, and vocal variety as well. And not to forget to mention, it is also your project to manage online meetings. And you clearly hit the purpose of facilitating an online meeting. What I don't want to forget to mention is you wonderfully dealt with the many, many changes and even last minute changes of the meeting. And it has a wonderful flow. Thank you so much. Now, I believe it is the time to place the timer report for the evaluators in the Zoom chat. Would you please post the time report, Rashmi? Thank you. While it is being done, I would like to call on our Robin, our grammarian, who was very carefully listening to how we applied the English language, what was done well and not so well, and of course, if he used his word of the day. Welcome to the virtual stage. Over to you, Ray.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator, and it's my pleasure to present this report. Let me just say that the use of the word of the day, I thought it could have been used more, because actually all of the speeches even gave examples of metamorphosis, but not all the speakers used the word, which is a little bit disappointing, and it just means there needs to be more focus and more thought in future. But it was used a reasonable number of times, and nobody used the morph word, which I was very pleased about. I was going to go through some of the speakers, and I have to, of course, talk about EJ. I think I totally agree with the evaluator. Brilliant speech, needs to go further. And one of the strengths of the speech, which I don't think was mentioned, was the use of language, which was breathtaking, especially in the first part of the speech, was almost poetic. For example, we had phrases such as "see stillness while the roots are forming." See stillness. Where do you come up with words like that? Confidence replacing caution. Growth does not come from avoiding mistakes or getting it right all the time. Powerful, powerful thoughts, which I actually loved. Paramjit spoke also on, I think it was adaptive leadership. No leadership without being human. No leadership without also being human. Now, let me just spend a few moments on words on phrases that could have been better. Guerdah, well done on using the word of the day, but I had to take off a half a point because you used the "so" word, and I think it's a problem that some of us have. You use the so word. Usually you refer to Paramjit as a funny person. That could in some contexts be looked at in the wrong way. I would just say you're a humorous person in future. And Nocawe, with you easy connect. We need to rephrase that, easily connect, something like that. And Sonja, you too. I will be evaluating myself. No, actually, you're evaluating Hannah. So just be conscious of those things in future. Otherwise, thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you so much, Robin, for your report. Now I believe it is time to vote on Best Effort Evaluator. Please launch the poll for Best Evaluation so we can all vote. Thank you. Okay. Now we have almost reached the end of the evaluation, and I want to add my own thoughts to it. The meeting was flowing really, really well, I find, with a wonderful Toastmaster of the Day, Hannah. We all felt welcome. We all felt your spirit. And in the background, which we all don't notice, the many changes and adjustments that had to be made were just managed just wonderfully. That's all I can say. Now I would like to turn it over to our Toastmaster of the Day, Hannah Schmidt. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. May we just get the timing reports also for the evaluators? Please put that into the chat box.
It's already there.
Okay. Thank you very much, because I can't see the chat box. Thank you very much, Sonja. Wow. Well done, Bifu. And before our President speaks to all those esteemed guests that have signed the guest book and those that are still present, he will close off with the thought of the day. Mr. President, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Transformational leadership. On the surface, when any of us takes on a leadership role, there are things we want to do. In today's fast-changing world, rate of technology, the things that we can foresee for improvements. The first thought is likely, how can others do better? How can the community, the business, the organization do better? Yet, through today's keynote and a whole series of speeches that we have heard today, the core aspect of transforming others starts within ourselves. How do we see? My apologies, I think there are some noise. Let me just mute them. Thank you so much. The core question comes within ourselves. Our why, our purpose, our values. And when we have that inner clarity of transformation, then we can start talking about how when we become a better self-directed leader, we can benefit, we can serve the community and the people around us. And in the midst of this mindset of understanding our own transformation and gearing ourselves for transformation, a key challenge that I would like to pose to all members and guests as we are reflecting on this last meeting of the calendar year of 2025 for Leadership Speak is, how have you been doing in your own transformation? And in the coming year, how can you utilize the resources that are around you? For example, your membership in Leadership Speak to help you transform into the leader you need to be to help your team, your community, or your organization also achieve the transformation they need. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your thoughts of the day. Much appreciated. May we now share what we've all been waiting for, the results of our best effort speaker and evaluator. Can somebody share that, please? That would be nice. Maybe we'll do it a little bit later. If we don't do it now, let me go on. My final comments for the meeting is, here's to the next 6 months that will propel us forward and upward to speak boldly and lead bravely and transform together. Let us embrace the power to step into the next semester as transformative leaders together. As your Toastmaster of the day, I wish you a joyful festive season and a prosperous new year, 2026. We are closing off for 2 weeks only, 2 weeks, and we will be online again on the 10th of January, 2026. May 2026 be a year where your confidence grows, your voice strengthens, and your transformative leadership shines. Here's to another year of learning, connection, and powerful communication. And I nearly said morph, Robert, metamorphosis, all happening at Leadership Speak. May I now hand over to our Vice President Education, Nicole, to speak to the guests and welcome them. Over to you, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, or esteemed Hannah. Thank you. So we have some guests with us this morning or afternoon or evening. Let me start with some not on camera, but let's see if they'll unmute and speak with us. Grenade, are you there? Can you speak? KJ, perhaps? Marlene? Well, welcome. Perhaps you're in an area that you're unable to unmute or speak with us, but we are happy to have you. How about Sharon? Sharon? No? Okay. Oh, yeah, Sharon. She's on
Hello.
mute. Welcome. Where are you joining us from?
From Uganda.
Uganda. Well,
my apologies. I'll not be able to switch on my camera.
Okay, that's fine.
My
Thank you.
name is Sharon Nampija. I'm a member of Luboa Toastmasters Club, where I currently serve as the club secretary. It has been a wonderful meeting. I've learned, I've enjoyed everything. Thank you very much for hosting me.
Thank you so much. I hope you managed to complete the guest book and hope to see you again.
That is a spot on.
And thanks for your feedback. All right, awesome. Thank you. Frida, are you there? I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, or Frida? Good.
Hello.
How are you?
Good evening,
Good
Toastmasters.
evening. Okay.
Frida Mwanyasi from Kenya.
Kenya. Nice.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be in here in Leaders Speak. I love your meetings. I hope to be one day I'll be a dual member. I come from Kenya, Mombasa County. I'm from Mombasa Island Toastmasters Club. It has been a pleasure to be with you this evening. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad you are even thinking of becoming a member. We will look forward to have you on board soon. Awesome, great. Who else? We have Satish. Satish, are you able to speak? Welcome again. Okay, probably unable to speak. And let's see if I'm missing anyone else. Yeah, I think that's it for our wonderful guests who are able to unmute and speak. Thank you for your contribution. And I hope you found this meeting valuable. Looking forward to see you again. I'll hand over to I think that's it from everyone. Yeah, so handing over back to our wonderful Toastmaster of the day, Hannah, to wrap this up.
Join Leadership Speak and you can hear more voices, especially inspirational voices from our Vice President Education, Nicole. Thank you very much for speaking to our guests. I am now closing the meeting. By the powers invested in me, I officially adjourn the meeting, but we can still all stay on and chat to each other, get to know each other, get to know about Leadership Speak, how to join, etc. Mr. Master, please stop the recording.